From the dawn of civilization, dolls have been children's favorite playmates. But today we will hear the story of a cursed doll. The doll's name is Annabelle. The incident took place in 1970. At that time, cult groups were growing day by day. This doll is the result of an experiment by such a cult group. And today, I'll tell you the events of the movie Annabelle, 2014. At the beginning of the story, we see two sisters, Debbie and Camilla, who were successful nurses by profession. Their lives were going peacefully, but suddenly, strange incidents started happening in their house. Frightened and confused, they came to speak with the famous paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who visited their home. At first, they assumed the doll was just an ordinary toy, but ever since the doll came into the house, terrifying things began to happen. One day, they noticed the doll's arms and legs twisted into unnatural positions. Sometimes its head was turned in a different direction. One night, they left the doll in a specific room and went to sleep, but when they woke up in the morning, the doll had gone to another room, as if it had walked there by itself. Camilla used a medium to communicate with the spirit, and learned that the spirit trapped in the doll was a girl named Annabelle Higgins, whose parents had died long ago. After her parents' death, she became very lonely. That spirit wanted to be friends with them. Debbie and Camilla felt pity for her. Thinking this way, they welcomed the spirit into their lives, forgetting that this friendship might bring something worse than death upon them. Gradually, the alarming events became even more terrifying. The love and compassion with which they accepted Annabelle turned into the biggest mistake of their lives. We jump from the mysterious present to 1 year earlier. The time, 1970. In the city of Santa Monica, California, there's a quiet, secluded Catholic church. Father Perez is preaching the words of the Bible and leading a religious discussion. Present in the church are the newlywed couple Mia and John. Sitting beside them are their neighbors, Mr. and Mrs. Higgins. Mia is pregnant and has come to church to pray for the well-being of her child. After the religious discussion ends and everyone is leaving the church, Mr. Higgins calls Mia and John over. They chat cheerfully. Suddenly, Mr. Higgins becomes anxious and asks Mia to check on his wife Sharon. When Mia reaches Sharon in the church, Sharon realizes her husband sent Mia. Worry is visible in her eyes, because their daughter Annabelle disappeared from home 2 years ago, and the police still haven't found her. Then the two of them return home with the Higgins. While saying goodbye, Mrs. Higgins tells Mia to consider her unborn child as blessed, and advises John to take good care of his wife. On the way back to their apartment, Mia says anxiously to John that it wasn't right to share the news of their baby with the Higgins couple. Their daughter has been missing for 2 years. John jokes that maybe their daughter ran away with her boyfriend. Mia becomes deeply worried about it. That night, Mia was working at the sewing machine and watching a news report on TV about a cult group's horrific criminal activities. John was sitting at the table working nearby. John asked her to turn off the TV so he could focus on his work. Mia turned it off and came to stand in front of John. Looking at her, John said anxiously that she shouldn't watch news about cult groups. Such things could disturb her peace of mind, which could harm their baby. Now let me tell you about cult groups. A cult group is a society or community where members are deeply devoted to a specific belief, ideal, or person. Since ancient times, various cults have existed. Worship of Egypt's pharaohs, Rome's emperors, or ancient Greek gods was in many ways cult-like. Some cults help with self-improvement, while others become dangerous, like the events of Jonestown or Heaven's Gate. Anyway, back to the story. John gives Mia a gift. Mia opens the box and gasps. Inside is a large, beautiful doll. Her eyes light up with joy. Receiving John's loving, wonderful gift, Mia glows with happiness. She lifts the doll and carefully places it beside her other favorite dolls, as if it's now the most valuable part of her collection. But they could never have imagined this doll would bring a terrifying turn into their lives. That midnight, John and Mia are fast asleep. Cold air blows in through the window. The curtains sway gently. In the house next door, the family is sleeping peacefully too. Suddenly, Mr. Higgins rises restlessly from sleep, and Mrs. Higgins moves toward the phone with frightened eyes. desperately trying to contact someone. Out of nowhere, red splatters of blood strike their window. A terrifying man with a gleaming knife advances toward Mrs. Higgins. Mrs. Higgins lets out a horrific scream, and in an instant all the lights in the house go out. Darkness swallows everything. Mia wakes with a start at the scream from the Higgins home. Terrified, she shakes John awake and says, "John, I heard a horrifying scream from the Higgins house." John quickly gets up and instructs Mia to stay in the room, then heads toward the Higgins place himself. Mia asks in a trembling voice, "Should I call the police?" John says firmly, "Not yet. I'll check first to see what happened." Telling Mia to stay somewhere safe, John heads into the darkness toward the Higgins home. The environment is utterly silent, only the soft hiss of the wind and a distant dog barking. An eerie, haunting stillness hangs in the air. Mia shakes with fear, calling for John again and again. No reply. Not hearing from him and driven by terror, Mia slowly moves toward the Higgins place. Suddenly, the dark door of the house pushes open and John steps out. Seeing blood on his shirt and fear in his eyes, Mia's breath catches. Shaking with dread, John whispers hoarsely, "Call an ambulance, fast." With trembling hands, Mia picks up the phone and calls for an ambulance. The house is eerily quiet. Only Mia's quivering voice breaks the silence. Slowly, a girl walks past in the background. A white dress, disheveled hair. After finishing the call, Mia returns to the room, exhausted. The room's silence grows heavier. Suddenly, a whisper right by her ear. "I like your doll." Mia freezes with icy fear. The girl holding John's gift, the doll, is none other than Mr. Higgins' daughter, Annabelle. Slowly, from the back door, Annabelle moves toward Mia. A man in blood-soaked clothes with a sharp knife in hand. Suddenly, someone grips Mia's throat from behind with iron hands. She thrashes, suffocating. The man plunges the knife into Mia's abdomen from behind. He is Annabelle's boyfriend. Annabelle and her lover brutally murder Mr. and Mrs. Higgins. In that moment, John unknowingly becomes a witness they didn't plan on, so they decide to eliminate John and Mia as well. Just then, John bursts in and tackles Annabelle's boyfriend, hitting him repeatedly, fury blazing in his eyes. A blood-streaked knife lies on the floor. Annabelle lunges with the knife to attack Mia, but at that exact moment, John rushes in to save her. He shoves Annabelle hard, knocking her out of the room onto the floor. From behind, Annabelle's boyfriend attacks John's leg. Annabelle quickly runs to the baby's room and slams the door shut. Then she kills herself there. Police arrive suddenly and spot her. In the chaos, she is shot dead by the police. When they break the room's door, they find Annabelle's lifeless body. As Mia is being taken to the hospital, in a sick and confused state, she catches a glimpse. Annabelle slit her own throat. In her hand was the doll John had gifted, and beside it, a strange demonic sign. Right then, drops of blood from Annabelle's corpse fall onto the doll's eye. The news spreads like wildfire across the country, on everyone's lips. Media coverage explodes, and society sinks into fear. The investigation reveals a shocking truth. Annabelle and her boyfriend were connected to a demonic cult group. Annabelle, with her lover, killed her parents because she would offer their souls to the devil. This atrocity was part of a horrific ritual. Meanwhile, at the hospital, John brings Mia for a checkup of their baby. The doctor's exam reveals no physical issues with the baby, but there are some signs of strain. That deep night, at exactly 3:36, the whole room is silent. John and Mia are asleep. Suddenly, the steady sound of the sewing machine comes from the next room. John cautiously picks up the baseball bat he kept close and slowly moves toward the sound. He enters the next room and sees the sewing machine running on its own. Though no one is there, John quietly walks over and pulls the plug from the socket. Then, when he goes to close the baby's room door, he finds it open, and the doll isn't there. As he tries to shut the door, it won't move forward. He notices the doll lying on the floor behind the door, even though it had been on the chair. John puts the doll back on the chair, closes the door, and leaves. In the morning, John goes to the office, and Mia sits alone at home watching TV, sewing little clothes for the new baby by hand. Suddenly, the TV screen starts to flicker. Then the screen switches off by itself. Right then, she hears a sound like a rocking chair slowly moving. The sound is coming from the baby's room. Slowly, she stands in front of the nursery door. No sound inside now. The rocking chair is motionless, perfectly still, and the doll sits lifeless on the chair, as if nothing happened. When John returns from work, he brings Mia's favorite foods and popcorn. He suggests they move apartments and tells her he's found a new place he likes in the seaside area of Pasadena, California. Mia agrees, knowing a new environment would be good to escape the trauma. John says Detective Clarkin is investigating the Annabelle case deeply. He said the police are working to uncover the whole matter. That same day, Mia throws the doll out of the house so it never returns to their lives. In the evening, Detective Clarkin visits their home and discusses the case. He says their investigation shows Annabelle and her boyfriend were members of a demonic cult. Clarkin adds that because of their involvement in satanic practices, Annabelle and her boyfriend committed those horrific acts. Hearing this, Mia and John become even more frightened. John goes to the kitchen to make popcorn. When he returns, he finds Mia has fallen asleep watching TV, so he leaves the popcorn on the stove and turns it off before leaving. Tonight, John will be out of town for 2 days on business. He's a bit nervous about leaving Mia alone while she's pregnant. Then something terrible happens. Mia is relaxing, watching TV and sewing. Suddenly, in the kitchen, an invisible force turns the stove on. No one was there. Last night, John had left the popcorn packet there and turned the stove off. The stove's temperature keeps rising. The smell of burning spreads through the whole room. Mia is so absorbed in her work that she doesn't notice the changes. She keeps watching TV and sewing faster. So distracted, she doesn't realize what's happening. In an instant, by accident, her finger slips under the sewing needle. She gets up from the machine and goes to the sink to clean her hand. But the kitchen situation is now dire. She suddenly senses a burning smell coming from the kitchen. Not understanding anything, Mia rushes in. As soon as she enters, she sees the fire has started slowly and is spreading through the whole house. She is completely alone. The environment is turning more ominous by the second. Suddenly, she bumps into a chair and falls to the floor. In a moment, she's screaming for help. Her strength seems to drain away in an instant. She crawls forward, trying to move, but then an invisible force grabs her by the legs and drags her toward the kitchen. Mia screams in terror. Hearing her cries, the neighbors rush over and take her to the hospital. John gets the news and hurries there. Standing by Mia's side, he apologizes with deep sorrow. Looking at him, Mia says, "Look behind you." Just then, a nurse arrives and congratulates them. John takes his newborn daughter in his arms. Tears of emotion fill his eyes. Then Mia, with tears, begins to recount the accident. In the aftermath, they leave that apartment and move to a small city in California. After moving into the new apartment, they don't face any problems for a few years. John and Mia live happily and peacefully with their little daughter. They take their baby to church. When they arrive, Father Perez begins preaching and leading a religious discussion. After reaching their new home, John and Mia are unpacking furniture from the cardboard boxes. Suddenly, from an old box, out comes the same doll John had gifted Mia. Seeing it, John is shocked. He was sure he had thrown the doll in the trash. Mia says maybe they accidentally brought it along, but John keeps worrying about the doll. Still, Mia decides to keep it with her for now. That day, Mia falls asleep on the sofa watching a TV show. In the nearby cradle, Leah sleeps deeply. Suddenly, the TV's dish signal cuts out. At that moment, inside Leah's room, a white-clothed spirit appears, somewhat resembling Annabelle. The spirit slowly comes before the cradle, and when it lowers its head to look at Leah, Leah wakes and screams, crying. But then everything looks fine. Mia heads out with her daughter Leah in a stroller to a small bookstore. As she's going down the stairs, Mia notices a little boy and girl sitting and drawing. The scene strangely draws her in. Mia approaches them and kindly tries to talk. But the boy tells his sister something so that she won't speak to a stranger. Mia looks at the little girl and asks her name, but the girl hesitates and, though she wants to say it, can't. She stays quiet, staring, as if some reason prevents her from speaking her name. Mia walks away. Leaving her daughter in the stroller, she goes into the bookstore. Standing outside, a book catches her eye. The Devil's Welcome. Just then, a woman emerges from inside. Her name is Evelyn. She owns the bookstore. Evelyn kindly asks, "Did you just move into the Palmieri apartments?" Mia says yes. Returning from the bookstore, Mia takes her daughter back and starts up the apartment stairs. Suddenly, she notices a drawing sheet lying on the stairs. Curious, she picks it up. The drawing warms her heart. A mother walking with her baby in a stroller. A few steps up, she sees another drawing. This time, a little unsettling. A mother pushing a stroller and a truck speeding toward them. Farther up, another sheet falls in front of her. She picks it up and freezes in terror. In the final drawing, the speeding truck slams into the stroller violently, and the helpless child is thrown dead. That night, when John returns from the hospital, Mia shows him the drawings she found on the stairs. The frightening images terrify Mia, but John brushes it off. He comforts her, saying they're just kids' imaginative drawings. Children often draw spooky pictures. There's nothing to fear. Holding Mia's hand with a gentle smile, he says, "From tomorrow I'll finish work early and come home sooner." The next night, Mia is eating dinner while listening to music. After dinner, she turns off the music and goes to the kitchen to put away the dishes. Suddenly, she shivers. The music turns off on its own. A chill runs through her body, but with a mix of curiosity and fear, she slowly moves toward the window. Reaching it, she places a trembling hand on the glass. A cold gust slams her onto the floor. For a few moments, she lies stunned, but when she opens her eyes, she sees a 10-year-old girl in white clothes sprint in from outside the window at an unnatural speed and rush into the room. Later, Mia tells John about it. John says they should talk to Father Perez. The next morning, they meet Father Perez at church. He says, "Though you faced 2 major incidents, by God's grace you're still alive. You must stay united." John can't stay home today because the hospital scheduled him on night shift. That night, there's a heavy downpour. Mia lays her daughter down to sleep and heads downstairs to the storage room. She takes the elevator to the ground floor. After placing the cardboard boxes in the storage room and returning, she suddenly hears a baby crying. Looking back, she sees no one. She assumes it's her mind playing tricks. Another sound, and strangely, a stroller begins to roll out by itself. Then terrifying children's screams echo from there. Mia, with a flashlight in hand, slowly approaches the stroller. When she reaches it, she sees a baby crying under a blood-stained towel. The towel is moving. When Mia pulls it away, there's nothing there. The sound stops. Suddenly, a black hand clamps down on Mia's hand. She screams and sprints toward the elevator. But the lights there have gone out. A terrifying demon is following her. Mia darts into the elevator and, after the doors close, she looks at her hand. The hand that was grabbed bears a sign, the same symbol written in blood beside Annabelle when she died. When the elevator doors open, Mia assumes she's arrived at her apartment floor, but realizes the elevator is still on the ground floor. She presses the button again. The doors close and open to the same place, repeating the cycle. Suddenly, the elevator light starts flickering. Mia is forced to get out and look for an exit. All around, terrifying darkness. A little farther ahead, she sees the red exit sign and runs toward it. Thunder roars. She opens the door and starts up the stairs. Then Leah's crying drifts down. Panicking, Mia races up the stairs and stumbles. Looking down, she sees the demon's black hand revealed by lightning flashes. She climbs, glancing back. The spirit stares at her with a terrifying gaze and lets out a monstrous growl. Mia, even more terrified, cries for help. She opens the door and rushes inside. But on her hand is that demonic sign, the same one seen beside Annabelle's corpse. Back home, Trembling, Mia bandages her hand. In the morning, she slowly removes the bandage and sees her hand is perfectly clear. The demonic sign is gone. After this, Mia tells everything to Detective Clarkin and asks him to come to her home. Soon, Detective Clarkin arrives. He looks at Mia with curiosity and says he was surprised she called him to the house now, because last time at the old apartment she didn't want to discuss the Annabelle case. Mia says now she wants to know more. Detective Clarkin says he's brought new information he found during the investigation. He shows Mia photos of Annabelle as a child and as an adult, from before she joined the cult group members. When Mia sees the childhood photo, a flashback hits, the girl who came into her room last night. She then asks Clarkin what else he discovered. Detective Clarkin says when he dug deeper, he learned these acts weren't only about offering souls to the devil. The real purpose was to awaken an unholy power. Mia asks in shock, why would they do that? Detective Clarkin answers, they wanted to become like Satan, to transform into demons. When Mia asks the name of the cult group, he says it's Disciples of the Ram, and the demonic sign Annabelle wrote in blood means to offer the soul and awaken the devil. Later, Mia goes to a bookstore. From a bookshelf, she pulls an old, mysterious book. As she studies it intently, Evelyn appears. With a gentle smile, Evelyn asks, "Can I help you with something?" Mia, avoiding eye contact, says, "No, I was just looking." Uneasy, she tries to leave, but Evelyn stops her and says firmly, "I'm older than you. I've seen a lot in life. Small things make me think deeply." After a moment of silence, Mia tells Evelyn she's sure something abnormal is happening in her family, as if they're trapped in a haunted environment. "I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth." Mia asks curiously if Evelyn believes in such things. Evelyn replies calmly that she's had such experiences once or twice, and they changed her life. At Mia's home, Evelyn begins to explain, ghosts and cult activities are not the same. A ghost usually lingers in a place where some horrifying event happened before, like what happened in your old home. Mia worries, "But we left that house and moved." Evelyn looks sharply at Mia and says softly, "What happened in your home isn't ordinary haunting. It's the work of a cult group. Their job is to offer human souls to the devil and awaken unholy power. They won't stop until they succeed." Evelyn gives her the book, The Devil's Welcome, and says, "All your answers are inside this book." Suddenly Mia notices a faded, old scar on the underside of Evelyn's right palm. Evelyn quickly hides her hand. After a brief silence, she removes a locket from her neck and offers it to Mia. Inside is a photo of a girl. With pain in her voice, Evelyn says, "My daughter Ruby. She died at about your age in a car accident. When this locket is with me, I often hear Ruby's voice. I feel God has kept me alive for a special purpose." Talking with Evelyn, Mia reaches the bottom of her building. Her house key slips from her pocket and falls. As she bends to pick it up, she hears an unseen voice whisper only one word, "Leah." Goosebumps shiver across her skin. She looks around quickly, no one. Just then, Leah's stroller slowly begins to roll backward on its own, as if dragged by an invisible force. Glancing at a glass window, she sees a reflection, Annabelle holding that terrifying doll. Suddenly, a truck slams into the stroller. In a moment, it's smashed to pieces. But Leah is safe in Mia's arms. Tears well in Mia's eyes. Then she sees the book, The Devil's Welcome, lying on the ground. Mia remembers the children's drawings. This accident looks exactly like those scenes, as if everything was pre-written. Back home, Mia reads The Devil's Welcome. On the floor by the bookshelf, Leah plays with her toys in innocent joy. Each page of the book seems to open a door to a terrifying world, describing how souls are offered to the devil. Her eyes stop on a symbol she's seen before, the one beside Annabelle's corpse. Flipping through the pages, she finds an even more horrifying truth. By sacrificing innocent children's souls, unholy power is awakened. Her gaze slowly shifts to Leah. Mia rises, gently pulls her daughter close, and caresses her. Suddenly, the rocking chair's creaking comes from inside the house. She checks, nothing there. Right then, 2 doors slam shut on their own. Bending down through the crack at the bottom, she sees the shadow of some unseen entity slowly walking. A book falls from the shelf, as if an invisible force yanked it down. The situation grows more terrifying. Mia grabs the rocking chair and smashes the door lock. Behind her, the terrifying doll appears, floating in midair. A twisted, monstrous smile curls on the demon's lips. Mia screams in terror, her whole body frozen with fear. Meanwhile, John is returning from the hospital. Hearing Mia's scream near the stairs, he rushes inside. What he sees, he can hardly believe. Afterward, they invite Father Perez to their home. Entering, Father Perez asks Mia if he can see the doll. With fear and dread inside, Mia heads to Leah's room. The doll's horrifying face and unnatural build weigh heavily on her heart. John says they had thrown the doll away before, but after moving into the new apartment, when they opened a box, they found it again. Father Perez studies the doll closely and says, "Often the devil uses inanimate objects as vessels to accomplish his purpose. Through them, he influences weak minds and pushes toward his goal." In a trembling voice, Mia asks Father Perez, "Does the demon want to attack our Leah? Do they want her soul?" Father Perez says gravely, "Before demons attack, they make an offer first. They cannot seize a soul directly unless someone willingly offers it. When they ask how to survive this, Father Perez says he wants to take the doll to the church with him. That will weaken the unholy power and keep it from awakening easily." Mia and John agree and hand the doll to him. Father Perez heads to the car with the doll. At first, he places it beside the car. Something feels off. He quickly puts the doll in the back seat and drives toward the church. The road is very quiet. He turns on the radio, but suddenly the sound cuts out. After a moment of silence, a holy verse from the Bible plays on the radio. Arriving at the church, Father Perez takes the doll from the car and moves to enter. Then he sees Annabelle's spirit sitting in the back seat. When he reaches the church's main doors and looks back, he sees Annabelle staring straight at him. An unseen force yanks Father backward and slams him down. Blood runs from his head. He collapses unconscious. The doll lies beside him, and Annabelle comes and takes it. When John reaches the hospital, he sees 2 nuns weeping. He asks them and learns that Father Perez has had an accident and is in very serious condition. John waits by Father Perez's side, hoping that when he wakes, the true mystery of this horror will be revealed. Meanwhile, Evelyn visits Mia's home. After putting Leah to sleep, Mia and Evelyn talk. At one point, Evelyn begins to remember her daughter Ruby. Tears fill her eyes. Mia asks how her daughter died. In a heavy voice, Evelyn answers, "My parents lived in a small town in the north. We were coming back from their home when a terrible accident happened. In the car accident, her daughter Ruby died. 3 weeks later, Evelyn regained consciousness, but Ruby never returned. She didn't even get the chance to say a final goodbye. So I prayed to God to take me instead. But my mistake became the price she paid." Meanwhile, as John waits for Father Perez to wake, the father slowly opens his eyes and warns him, "That doll is possessed by the devil. I saw its terrifying power with my own eyes. It wants your daughter Leah's soul." John says, "But you told us a demon can't take a soul unless it's offered willingly. My daughter is a small child. A child would never willingly offer her soul to the devil." "True," Father says, "but the devil's power to deceive is limitless." These words carve deep fear into John's heart. He rushes to the phone to warn Mia to get out of the house immediately. Great danger is coming for Leah, but the phone connection fails. Mia hears nothing. Right then, a knock is heard at the door. Mia looks through the peephole and sees Father Perez standing there, not knowing he's still in the hospital. She opens the door and finds him facing the other way, standing motionless. Slowly approaching, she asks anxiously, "Father, is everything okay?" Getting no response, she moves closer and gently touches his back, and sees a grotesque face. Mia realizes this is not Father Perez. It's a demon wearing his form, standing at her door. Items from the dining table crash to the floor one by one. The gramophone turns on by itself, playing a dark, unholy tune. From afar, Leah's heart-piercing cry rises. Mia doesn't hesitate. She runs to Leah's room. Evelyn tries to call John for help. Mia freezes in Leah's room. It's empty. No sign of Leah. All around, dolls lay scattered in twisted, horrifying shapes. Evelyn says in panic that the phone is dead. "We have to get out now." Mia cries, "I can't find Leah. I have to find her first. Then we'll go." Just then, heavy footsteps sound from upstairs. Mia and Evelyn go cold. Evelyn slowly turns her head and sees a shadow on the stairs. With a powerful blow, something hurls Evelyn out of the room, and the door slams shut by itself. Mia tries desperately to open it, no use. A horrific roar shakes the room, chilling blood. Mia can barely breathe. Leah's crying echoes again. Mia frantically searches, no sign. Though the crying seems close, Leah is nowhere. Mia realizes this cry isn't a plea for help. It's a trap. For a moment she stands frozen. In front of her, the doll sits alone on the sofa. With a tear-choked voice, Mia asks the doll, "What do you want from me?" When she enters Leah's room, the entire environment has changed. The walls are scrawled in red pencil, "I want her soul," and the writing is about little Leah. Grabbing the doll in fury, Mia shouts, "Give me back my daughter!" She smashes the doll to the floor with several blows. But something strange happens. The moment Mia throws the doll to the floor, it transforms into the real Leah. Leah lies silent on the floor, her little body limp, as if unconscious. Shuddering, Mia can't believe her eyes. She has made a fatal mistake. She thinks she really killed her own child. Everything was deception, a demon's trick. After a moment, wiping her eyes, Mia looks again. Her daughter's body is gone. In its place, a doll. What she's been seeing is a mirage, a false reality created by her own mind. Then at the window, she sees a strange message. "Your soul." The window swings open in a bizarre way. A dreadful signal. If she wants to save her daughter, she must jump. If she sacrifices herself, her soul will be offered to the devil. In that moment, she hears Leah crying, and an unbearable pain tears through her heart. With tear-filled eyes, she whispers, "Leah, your mom is coming to save you." John arrives home. Evelyn tries to open the door and shouts for Mia. Mia slowly reaches the window and sees the doll sitting below it, as if urging her to jump with it toward a horrible end. John and Evelyn break the door together and search for Mia. Mia, holding the doll, moves toward the window, deciding to end her life. At the last moment, John rushes in and stops her. Desperate, he begs, "Don't do this. There has to be another way." Crying, Mia says, "I have no other choice. The devil wants my child's soul, but I'll offer mine to save her life." Hearing this, Evelyn pleads, "Don't do it. Don't choose a path that will take your life." But Mia, resolute, prepares to jump. John lunges, grabs her tight, and pulls her back, saving her life. While John soothes Mia, fear still etched in her eyes, Evelyn makes a hard decision in private. To save Mia and John's child from the devil's grasp, she decides to offer her own soul. Evelyn takes the doll in her hands, clutches her locket, and steps toward the window. For the last time, she looks at Mia and John with a loving gaze, then jumps. She gives her life to the devil. The moment is heartbreaking. Moments later, Mia and John stare in astonishment. Their little girl is sitting in the cradle, as if some miracle returned her. Through Evelyn's sacrifice, the devil's curse is broken forever, and Mia and John, getting their daughter back, are freed from the doll's horror. The scene changes 6 months later. Freed from the cursed life, John and Mia's daughter Leah now lives happily and comfortably. One day they go to church to pray. After the service, they meet Father Perez. In conversation, he asks, "Are you facing any more problems now?" Mia replies, "No, since that night there's been nothing. I think the police kept the doll. John says Detective Clarkin hasn't received any such report from the police. Father Perez says gravely, the devil will continue his work. What has been created once is not easy to destroy. Wherever this doll goes, even to a new family, the same terrifying problem will arise. John and Mia bid farewell to the father. Now let's come to the ending. Why did Evelyn sacrifice herself to save Leah and Mia? She wanted to atone for her daughter's death. Mia and John's neighbor Evelyn jumps from their apartment window and dies, but there was a deep purpose behind it. Years earlier, she blamed herself for the car accident that killed her daughter Ruby. So by saving Leah and Mia, she wanted to make amends for her greatest mistake. Evelyn saw her own past reflected in Mia and John, a newlywed couple hopeful about life. At first, it seemed Father Perez might sacrifice himself, since he's a priest whose life is devoted to God and the fight against evil. But once Evelyn's past is revealed, we understand she had a stronger personal reason for sacrifice. The demon wanted a soul, but Evelyn's selfless sacrifice may have changed everything. Thus, a noble act defeats the demon, and perhaps her soul is spared from being dragged to hell. Evelyn's sacrifice was a holy act that overcame the unholy power, and kept it from taking any soul, and thus ends the events of Annabelle, 2014. I know the video was very long, but it took a lot of effort to make. So please don't forget to click the like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe and set the bell icon to all. See you very soon with a new video. Till then, goodbye.